I get the impression you believe not only have the police mishandled the case, they've acted prejudicially, unfairly, and wrongly. Would I be right in putting it like that?
Yes.
All three prejudicially, unfairly, and wrongly.
Yes, surely, because the sisters can't be accused of such an accusation that they will never think about it. Christians, we are also being targeted in certain areas which are very sensitive and perhaps even dear to us. For example, we are the ones who are running many of our education institutions and very well. I don't think there is absolutely a single complaint in any of our schools of being conversion as such. There is always the accusation against the Christians that, first of all, that every attempt of doing good is being misunderstood as being utilized for conversion as such. The fact that the 18 states have brought about what's called the anti-conversion bills already speaks about the suspicion, the doubt that people in general, perhaps I don't say people in general because people are good, but there are certain governments in power that are casting aspersions on our behavior, on our activities. And I think the Christians are also in this big group of minorities. We are also affected, and I must say we are very much hurt about it. Please excuse us, rather, please set aside that bogey of conversion that hurts us very much.
Hello and welcome to a special interview for The Wire. Although it's by no means attracted the attention it deserves, what's happened to two nuns in Chhattisgarh is not only a matter of great concern, but also of national shame. They've been accused of forced conversion and human trafficking purely on the grounds of unverified suspicion and kept in police custody for 8 days. The three tribal women they are accused of converting and trafficking have forcefully refuted the charges, as have their families, but the police ignored all of that. Joining me now to talk about this case and then to talk about how Christians are treated in India is the Archbishop of Bangalore, Peter Machado. Archbishop Machado, there have been extensive reports in newspapers giving different accounts of what happened to the two Kerala nuns from the Assisi Sisters of Mary Immaculate. The nuns are Preeti Mary and Vandana Francis. So let me start by asking you, what do you believe is the truth of the story? Tell me what you believe actually happened.
You know, we had a session, or rather a protest rally day yesterday, and I said that this is very unfortunate in a country like ours, that the sisters who have been held everywhere in reverence and also affection, especially because of their activities in education and the hospital care, that these should be accused of such a serious nature that they are, first of all, human traffickers, and secondly, that they are forcefully converting the people. I said this is not only poor in judgment, but also very much hurting the Christian community. I don't believe in any way that the sisters were responsible for this, but forces behind have seen to it that their names are maligned, and the community also is affected by this accusation that has been made on these our sisters.
Now, the nuns were accused by someone called Ravi Nigam, a member of the Bajrang Dal, and he accused them of forced conversion and of trafficking three tribal women. But all three tribal women's families have told the police that the women had their permission to go to Agra to look for jobs, and secondly, that all the three women were Christian already. This means the police acted on Ravi Nigam's false suspicions. What does that tell you about the police handling of this case?
I would say it's very sad. Normally, we look forward to the government authorities and the police for protection, for security. But the fact that the police and government missionary joined these perpetrators of this kind of accusations in order not only to defend them, but not defend the sisters as such. in the video that we saw that a woman that was shouting at them and perhaps almost going bodily sort of attack, but the police were not doing anything. On hindsight, we almost learned that that woman, I think a certain Sharma by name, that she was also accused, or rather she was convicted in many cases. And the police in the court are supposed to have said that she's missing or she's not found at all. The fact that she's everywhere and not found by the police perhaps gives also an inkling of how the police are working in this kind of cases also.
I get the impression you believe not only have the police mishandled the case, they've acted prejudicially, unfairly, and wrongly. Would I be right in putting it like that?
Yes.
All three, prejudicially, unfairly, and wrongly.
Yes, surely, because the sisters can't be accused of such an accusation that they will never think about it.
Let me quote what the sister of one of the three tribal women has told the Hindu. She says, I sent my sister with the nuns for her to take up a nursing job in Agra. I myself had taken up a job with them in Lucknow, and I realized a similar move would help my sister become self-reliant. And my sister was completely in agreement. Doesn't that clearly establish that what happened was legitimate, it was transparent, and it was done willingly and voluntarily?
Surely, Mr. Thapar, it's very clear. And secondly, all three of them were majors, not minors. And secondly, giving an opportunity to work in a different place, placing them in an environment that is competitive, was a big favor that was done by the sisters. And surely they will not fall for these cheap sort of mechanisms of wanting to convert by giving employment, by giving education, etc. These are all the clauses that are there in the anti-conversion bills that are being brought in almost 18 states of our country. These are repeated everywhere. What we call the force and also the what we call the material sort of things that are given in order that they may convert.
Now, you mentioned Joti Sharma a moment ago in one of your answers. Let's talk for a moment about her. One of the three tribal women have told the Indian Express that in the presence of policemen, she was beaten by a lady called Joti Sharma, who is described by the Indian Express as a member of the Durga Vahini Matru Shakti. And this Joti Sharma forced the tribal woman to lie about the nuns. That's the allegation that the tribal woman has made to the Indian Express. It seems the police did nothing and permitted this to continue. How do you view that?
It's very sad, and it gives the nature of the type of investigations that the police should make, but then unfortunately, because certain pressures may be from the top, that these things are happening and being repeated case after case.
You suspect pressure from the top?
Perhaps, because the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh himself has made a statement in the past that the action should be taken against the Christians, especially for their converting activities. This sends a wrong message that we are all out for converting, we are all waiting to convert people. I don't think it is so easy. There are so many in Karnataka. We have almost 50 lakhs people studying in most of our institutions, and there are hospitals, there is one, but which of them is converted? For that matter, so many of our officials, so many of our ministers have studied in our institutions. Which of them are converted? This conversion bogies, they are not only disturbing, it is hurting us. That in spite of doing good work in this country, that we are not only not recognized, but denigrated.
You mentioned the Chief Minister a moment ago. His name is Vishnu Deo Sai.
Yeah.
He has been tweeting on X about this. And despite all the details that have been extensively in papers like the Indian Express and the Hindu, which I have mentioned, this is what the Chief Minister tweeted. Through inducements, there was an attempt to engage in human trafficking and conversion. He is clearly taking the line that the nuns were involved in human trafficking and conversion, and that line is contradicted by the newspaper accounts that I've cited. So is it right for the Chief Minister to have tweeted in this way?
Surely not. As constitutional head of the government, He is a minister for all the peoples, and it should be his duty to keep all of them in harmony and peace. At the same time, encouraging the good works. Surely, if there are some lapses here and there, the government should surely take action. Also, I'm not to say that if we have done wrong, we should be protected. We should also be punished, but prove our what we call the faults that we have, or at least uphold the innocence that we stand for.
Let me quote something that clearly suggests that the Chief Minister tweets were not just mistaken but flatly wrong. According to the Hindu, Kamleshwari Pradhan, who is apparently one of the three tribal women, has told the paper, i.e., she's told the Hindu, that she was tortured by Bajrang Dal members and forced to make a false statement. She says she conveyed this to the police, but the police did not report what she said to them. Clearly, therefore, the Chief Minister should have been aware what his own police force was being told, and when he tweeted the way he did, it was clearly in violation of what his police were being told. So, what do you make of this? That the Bajrang Dal is doing the beating, the Bajrang Dal is forcing the women to give false statements, and the Chief Minister, instead of investigating it, is covering up and providing the same line.
Very, very sad and very sorry to hear this kind of sort of tweets that come from the higher ups. And it's disturbing that the government of the government of India should be saying to the chief ministers to say that it's your duty to protect the innocent, take action against the culprits. It's the other way about. The culprits are allowed to go scot-free and the innocent are perhaps harmed much and more. Mr. Thapar, I don't know whether you read also that there was a note of a certain MLA or MP from Maharashtra who has declared prizes, sort of bounties for people who harm Christians, and the highest reward will be given to those who kill a priest or harm a priest. With this kind of statements that are going about and nobody taken action against them, I think it speaks very badly of the government. We are all the peace.
The case we're talking about was in the papers and happening for 8 days, not 1 or 2, but for 8 days. During that process, what's your opinion of the stand taken by the central government? We've discussed the stand taken by the Chief Minister of Chhattisgarh. You've told me that you're sharply critical of him. What's your opinion of the stand taken by the central government?
I would say it was slow, not very encouraging also. Because I know that our church leaders met the central government officials, ministers, they explained to them, and many of the MPs or MLAs from Kerala explained to them this can never happen and this is not correct. But the fact that the reaction of the central government was very slow, it was not very encouraging. I think it is not a good sign that they sent out. They should have stopped it immediately to say that either investigate and free the sisters or perhaps don't get into controversies like this, which hurt the image of the government itself, not only in India, but also abroad.
Do you feel let down by the central government? And let me be specific, since this matter comes directly under the Home Minister. Do you feel let down by the Home Minister? Do you feel let down by the Prime Minister?
I'm sorry, I don't know which of the two are responsible, but I think as heads of the government departments, they should have seen to it, I think the Home Department should have seen to it that action is taken immediately against the culprits. It was very clear who are the culprits who made the accusations and who are the innocent. The sisters were very innocent. The other way, it was the other way about. Action was taken against the sisters and the culprits. I don't see anything being done about them, about the false accusation they have made. I don't say I'm happy that what we call the bail has been given to the sisters, but I would not stop at that. It's better that the central government or perhaps the state government withdraws the accusation itself to say that there is nothing in these accusations, so the sisters don't have to come month after month or week after week, report to the police station as if they are big thieves or perhaps someone who has done very evil in this country.
There are two connected questions that arise out of what you said. First of all, on Saturday, the sisters were given bail, but a condition was attached. They were required to surrender their passports. How do you respond to that condition?
I think it's like treating them, you are still rogues, but we give you a little freedom to go out and perhaps be with your family. I don't think this is a satisfactory, perhaps, solution that the central government has suggested. The central government would have said that kindly inquire immediately if there is any truth in the sayings. And secondly, the one who complains perhaps is always to be investigated. What is his intention? What are the parameters that is used? What are the government machinery that is perhaps he has influenced? And as you said, perhaps as I said, that this woman who is supposed to be absconding and she's there in the public and the government is not taking any action against her.
Well, as you point out, no action so far has been taken against Ravi Nigam, who made the false complaint, or against Joti Sharma of the Durga Vahini, or against the Bajrang Dal people who allegedly beat up Kamleshwari Pradhan. Do you feel the government in Chhattisgarh should move urgently to take action against these people?
Yes, in order to restore the credibility in the minds of the people that the government and especially the police and the missionaries surely is in favor of giving justice to the sisters, I think they should move very fast and prove who is the one who is the culprit, who are the innocent ones.
Meanwhile, Archbishop Machado, what is the condition of the nuns? Brinda Karat has told The Hindu that both of them are over 55 years old, that both have severe medical problems and were forced to sleep on the floor and were running temperature while they were in jail. What is their condition now?
I'm sorry if it is what you say. This is very poor, perhaps treatment that is given to these sisters. I don't expect first-class treatment to be given to them, but at least some human thing. And looking at their age and stage of their life, I think, and sisters are normally very, very timid. They would not, even when they go into the bus or into go to the train, they are so much because they are used to being always being sort of inclusive, exclusive in their own self. And in this an atmosphere that they were made to do, sleep on the ground, I think this is not becoming of the government and the police. I'm sure someone will investigate and find out if it was true.
Let me at this point put to you what Rajiv Chandrasekhar, the BJP's president in Kerala, is supposed to have said. He said that, he said it, and this is not a secret, because he was worried that the BJP could lose Christian support in Kerala, where it is making a great effort to reach out to Christians. He claimed the whole matter is a profound misunderstanding. He claims there was an inadvertent procedural lapse because the nuns forgot to register under the Chhattisgarh Private Placement Agency rules. Do you accept that?
I'm hearing it first time that someone trying to help some people to get employment has to register in this board. If this was the case, why did they not make it clear? And this is just a excuse for what they are trying to cover up, to say that because the first statement that came out was that they were human traffickers. And secondly, I was told subsequently was added also the provisions of the anti-conversion law to make it strong and to make it so much restrictive for them. And what Mr. Rajiv is saying is very surprising for me. I think someone should, under right of information, find out that how many people have perhaps applied to this particular board and how many agencies are running and what are those agencies that we are supposed to help. If I'm going to help somebody for an employment, do I have to register in that board? Or perhaps when I take someone to another place to be introduced or to be welcomed in a particular employment situation, do I have to do it? I think Mr. Rajiv, I think he's not being very good at this. Perhaps he should say the truth and say that the sisters were convicted or rather accused under human trafficking. They were accused under conversion, and this is what just a minor point, which perhaps they themselves do not know. Surprisingly, I am also not aware of it.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch the interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.
Let's at this point, Archbishop Machado, broaden our discussion. Over the last decade, we in India have become very aware of the way India's Muslims are treated. They're accused of love jihad. They're often accused of land jihad. Frequently, they are the victims of cattle or cow lynchings. Their homes are often destroyed and demolished without due process. And whenever they complain, they are repeatedly told, go to Pakistan. What we don't know, Archbishop Machado, is how India's Christians are treated. We know a lot about the Muslims, very little about the Christians. Why don't you tell me, what is your impression of the way Indian Christians are treated?
I would say perhaps Muslims are bearing the brunt of this, what we call anti-minority attitude that is going on. But Christians, we are also being targeted in certain areas which are very, very sensitive and perhaps even dear to us. For example, we are the ones who are running many of our education institutions and very well. I don't think there is absolutely a single complaint in any of our schools of being conversion as such. So also in our hospitals, in our health centers, we take care of the poor, we take care of there are also some super specialty hospitals that perhaps we have to balance with our amounts to pay a little. And the social centers, taking care of the old, the sick, the palliative cases, the specially abled, these are all taken care of us. And having these kind of institutions with us and running them well, I do not know who is affected, because there is always the accusation against the Christians that, first of all, that every attempt of doing good is being misunderstood as being utilized for conversion as such. As conversion, this is a serious charge that the government and the government authorities and the others are making. And the fact that the 18 states have brought about what's called the anti-conversion bills already speaks about the suspicion, the doubt that people in general, perhaps I don't say people in general because people are good, but there are certain governments in power that are casting aspersions on our behavior, on our activities. And I think the Christians are also in this big group of minorities. We are also affected, and I must say we are very much hurt about it.
Let me focus a little on the repeated accusation that Christians are seeking to convert Hindus, Dalits, Adivasis in particular. Thamina Arora has done a video where innocent Christian meetings, prayer gatherings, or simple occasions to get together are accused of being conversion practices. Christian meetings are broken up, Christians are beaten. As Archbishop of Bangalore, how do you respond to this constant charge of conversion?
See, when your eyes are jaundiced, when you wear color glasses, everything for you looks of that color. I think somehow the government and the people in power have got this impression that we are all out for conversions. I would say that, first of all, it's not easy to convert forcefully today. And secondly, with incentives, they say, but with incentives, how many people would remain for how long? And finally, I say that if you really think there are conversions, forceful conversions and incentivized conversions, you have the laws to take actions. I'm not going to stop any of you to say that you need not take actions, excuse them. No, I would say we are ones who obey the laws perfectly, and I would say that the Christians should be the ones who keep up the laws, and we bravely can say that the government can take action in case such occurrences happen. But on the other hand, to make accusations that every action of ours. I was told that last Christmas there were 11 incidents in the country when the certain groups of people just barged into our Christmas celebrations. And for the Christmas celebration in Bangalore, even before the church can celebrate it, the market has already opened up their stores for Christmas and celebrations and Santa Claus and all that. Do we think that we are so cheap as to say that this kind of occasions of giving joy to the people, giving something happiness to our orphans or to the poor people in the hospitals, are these attempts to convert people at Christmas time, at Easter time? These are things that are very much hurting us. As one of the members of the parliament asked in the parliament itself, how many of you have studied in the Catholic institutions? How many of you got treatment in the Catholic institution? And how many of you were converted? Why use this conversion bogey on us without any reason? Perhaps on the other hand, we are ready to join the government. We are ready to help the government in many of the things. Here in Bangalore, I have told the government, I know that many of the schools, government schools are not working. The hospitals or the health centers are not working. Give it to us. Give it to us. Don't worry about conversion. We will take care of the poor. We will give education to the poor. We will do our best in order to join the government and help the government in all development activities. But please excuse us, rather, please set aside that bogey of conversion that hurts us very much.
Now, meanwhile, Archbishop Machado in Kerala, which has a substantial Christian population, the BJP is making every effort it can to reach out to Christians to win their political support. Let me ask you, do you think it can succeed in winning Christian political support, or will Christians remain wary of BJP associate organizations like the Bajrang Dal, the Durga Vahini, and the VHP?
Personally, I feel that there are people in Kerala, even the Christian leaders, who know what is happening in the country. And they are aware also of the mechanisms or behind the scene agendas that are going on. I think for some time it may look, because Kerala is not only Christians now, there are also the Muslims, there are also the Hindus, which are perhaps working together. And in this sense, I would say that perhaps there might be certain impression that Kerala or the church is moving towards the powers that be, but I don't think it's true. At heart, we all want the welfare of the people, and I would say obeying our conscience is much better than obeying certain rulers that perhaps will give us certain favors for some time.
So you're saying a very important thing. The impression that the church in Kerala is moving towards the central government and the BJP is a false impression.
I would say that, because by and large, I know many Kerala bishops and Kerala priests. They are for the conscience, they are for truth, they are for the country. But the fact that we are visiting certain politicians, it's out of respect for them. We Christians are known to give respect and regard to all the leaders, whoever they are. We don't say that we should give our leaders only who are favorable to us. We pay our obeisance or rather our obedience to all the rules and regulations of the country and give our due respect to the political leaders who are in power.
My last question. Let me end by asking you about the Modi government. For all practical purposes, it follows a policy of Hindutva, and it's widely perceived to favor India's Hindu population. So as Archbishop of Bangalore, how do you view the Modi government's attitude to and treatment of India's minorities?
I can understand there are a lot of aspersions cast about Modi's treatment of the minorities. I hope it is wrong, because as the Prime Minister, as the leader of the nation, he has to take all the people along, the good, bad, and the ugly, they say. And in that sense, the minorities, which are the jewels, the small jewels that are in the country, the Prime Minister should also take along. As regards his Christian attitude towards the Christians, by and large, we know that Mr. Modi has made efforts to come close to us. He has met our Holy Father Pope Francis 2 or 3 times, And he told us in India that he has invited him, though perhaps he had or his government had not followed up on this invitation, but then the goodwill gestures were there. He also came for our Christmas programs in the other places in Delhi, etc. But I think we expect a little more than that, that he be a really father to the country, father to all the people. And I would say not a politician, but a statesman. A statesman is one who looks everybody with equanimity and impartiality. I have great regard for Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee. I would call him a statesman because he was a man that was taken up by all the people and respected as a leader of the country. I would request Mr. Modi also to be more generous, trust the Christians, and not allow the government, or perhaps not only the central government, but also the state government, to go in such a way as to cast our doubts, our sort of I cannot believe certain things that are happening. I hope the government in the center will take care to restore confidence among us. At the same time, take us into confidence for the many development and good works of this country. We are there for the country. We are citizens of this country, and we would like to be always at the service of the country.
You made a very important point, Archbishop Machado. You compared Narendra Modi to Atal Bihari Vajpayee. Atal Bihari Vajpayee is clearly a man you respect and admire. And then you said you would want Mr. Modi to be more generous and to trust Christians. In other words, you want Mr. Modi to be like Atal Bihari Vajpayee was.
Surely, he's a great leader, respected by the many countries. And surely, as a leader of this country, we are proud of our Prime Minister, of the good works that he does, of the development that he's bringing. But in this matter of taking all along with him, especially the minorities, would bring a great, great credit to him personally and as the leader of this nation.
So as far as the minorities are concerned, and as far as the Christians in particular are concerned, Mr. Modi needs to reach out. That's what you expect. That's what you want.
I would say that, yes.
Archbishop Machado, thank you very much for the time you've given me. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Thapar. So nice of you to have asked me these questions. At the same time, you have listened to me, and perhaps God will give us the grace to move forward in the way that He wants us. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Karan Thapar. Over the last few years, I hope you've been watching my program, The Interview on the Wire. During that period, I've interviewed doctors, politicians, businessmen, scientists, authors, and even the occasional Nobel laureate. For me, it's been exciting. I hope it's been enjoyable for you. But these, as you know, are tough times, and if this program is going to remain bold, independent, and sometimes even defiant, then I think we need your support. At the end of the day, it's a truism, but editorial independence is best defended by the viewers. So if you would like this program to remain the way it is, forthright, outspoken, and interesting, then would you consider supporting us? All you have to do is to click on the description at the bottom. But more than anything else, I hope you will continue to watch The Interview. Your viewership means an awful lot to me.